Okay, so today's video is dirty, like in so many ways, and none that I really meant. I didn't intend for any of it to be this dirty, but it's dirty in tools that are being discussed and reviewed. It's dirty in the way that I talk about those tools without meaning to be dirty. And I actually noticed as I ran past a mirror to come film this right now, my shirt is also dirty. So I guess the theme of today is dirty. I mean, we're all about good, clean fun around here, I guess, except for today. I'm going to tell you all about today's video and why it's dirty in just a minute, but before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 8 of year 2 of 365 days of soap. And today we're doing another back to basics, and we are really deep diving into the things that I have learned over the years and all of my testing and whatnot with stick blenders and scales. Because that was a great source of confusion, for me as I was coming up, and then found these newfangled things like, oh, and a stick blender, that's amazing. All of that for sure. And as a result, because I teach classes at the shop, I have a lot of stick blenders and a lot of scales that I have used and for classes and tested for myself and all the things. Yeah, so we're going to talk about the ones that I have used, the ones that I currently have in my possession, and the ones that I would ultimately recommend you buy. And they're all cheap. That's the biggest benefit of all of that, because yeah, you can do all kinds of things and spend all kinds of money when it comes to your stick blenders and your scales and all the jazz, but these are the ones that I have found that really work or don't work. And also I'm going to show you how to calibrate your scales and test your scales to make sure that they're all measuring correctly as well. But again, dirty scales, dirty sticks, and a dirty mind throughout all of this, so just keep that in mind as you progress. And maybe the kids don't watch this one with you. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, first up, stick blenders. The good, the bad, the absolutely terrible. Now, 3 of these I have used in the shop. 1 of them I have not. The Bella. Hate it. Hate it. I will put links to all of these things so you can find them and buy them if you want. But the Bella, I hate. It's has a decently long stick, so that's cool. It's $22.72 on Amazon, and look at the wiggle on that stick. It started doing that in about 3 or 4 uses, and how easily that now comes off. It falls apart while mixing anything. Also, I have gone through 3 or 4 of these because I bought a whole bunch of them to use just specifically for lotion in classes. And yeah, I also hate that. I hate the ridged heads, for sure. But I bought a whole bunch of these to use in lotion classes, and 3 or 4 of them, the motor, like it started smoking and it got hot and the motor went kaput within 2 weeks. Yeah, so it cannot really handle mixing any longer than, you know, about a minute before it just cannot take the heat. So again, I will leave all of these links and you guys can get them if you want. The Moss and Stone, slightly better. I like that it has, the motors have actually been okay with this one for sure. It has a weird grindy sound. I don't super love that at all, but you know, it's better than, it's much better than the Bella for sure. Now this one is also, it's $22.99 on Amazon, and it actually has a good attachment there. The bearings have not gone out on the actual head itself yet, so it's been good. It still has that, it's long, it has a good, you know, shaft, so that's awesome. All of this is sounding so dirty at this point. But the ridged head, I'm also not a fan of. I think it actually, it allows more air to get into the, well, the soap or the lotion or anything else than I would necessarily like. And so, yes. And I actually just used all 4 of these, well, all 3 of these. I did not use the blue one for reasons that will be made known, you know, later. But I actually used 3 of these right before filming this, just to remind myself as to why I liked or disliked and what I liked or disliked about them. And that's another thing to consider. Some of the heads are interchangeable. This one is not, but this one is also very, very broken. The bearings went out on that. Just don't get that red one. Now, this one I bought for funsies just to see if there's like a really super cost-effective, you know, stick blender out there, but I wasn't super paying attention when I bought it, and it is cost-effective. It's $13.99 at Best Buy or Amazon to that. And yeah, no, I don't like that it feels like a sturdy little machine. It's very kind of compact, so you couldn't really do big batches with it. But the thing that and it really is, it locks on really well. But the thing that I don't like about it is probably what you guys are all looking at and going, yeah, I don't like that it's all of it is completely made of like plastic. And so I just feel like it's going to wear down faster in soaps. And also it has the ridge thing. So I have not used this at all. It came in and I went, that's not for my purposes. I think it might be great for, you know, whatever you might use immersion sticks for in a kitchen. What do you use immersion sticks for? Like, I don't actually know, except for soap. Now this one is my favorite to ever exist in the history of ever. This is a Hamilton Beach one, and you can get it for the low price of $21.96 at walmart.com. Now, the very first, well, that's not true, not the first stick blender, but the very first time I bought this stick blender, god damn, that needs cleaned. Gross. You're disgusting. This is soap and clay. Everyone disliked the video because I'm nasty. And I just used it to make sure that I like it, even though I know that I like it, and I didn't really clean them off very well. I'm sorry. But anyway, the very first time I got one of these, it was about 6 years ago, and it lasted up until about halfway through last year, the exact same stick blender, and up until about halfway through last year's, you know, channel content, and that was with daily use, you know, dozens of times a day. This is a workhorse. I love everything about this. And I also love that it has like the smooth head there. And because I feel like it lets in less air. So I like that for sure. Now this is interchangeable with the Bella, but again, the Bella head is not great. So there's that. Yes, all things considered, I would definitely buy the Hamilton Beach. That one is my favorite that I've worked with. And I have worked with well over a dozen sticks at this point. These are just the only 4 that I had in the shop. Oh my gosh, so dirty. Obviously dirty with all of the stick blenders literally being dirty, but also the overall way that I'm talking. So hopefully with scales we don't really need to deal with that at all, because what's dirty about scales? Some of these are very well used. And we're going to talk about why I would not go with them for constant use. Now, this Ozeri and this guy there, and yeah, okay, we've got 5. Let's talk about them all. Now, all of these, with the exception of this Kitchenaid one, are under $15. And I got this Kitchenaid one, and I want to say it was like $45. Again, I'll put the links below. Now, the bonuses about this is it has 2 different areas for weighing things, and you can tear them out, individually. And so that's cool. Look at that. That's awesome. You can totally do the thing. And then it has pounds, grams, and wait, it just has pounds and grams for the big one. That's a problem. That's a problem for me personally. I measure everything out in ounces, and yes, I understand there are 16 ounces in a pound, but I measure everything out in ounces. So for that reason, that guy was used, wiped away, and never, I did not think of it again. Now this one has grams, milliliters, ounces, and the battery is dead. Cool. Now, this was actually a decent little, I picked up a whole bunch of these off of Amazon. Again, I'll put links in the thing. And they were all like 8 doll hairs. And that was great because when I teach classes, and so I need a whole bunch of scales. But because of the like plastic top, over time with the fragrance oils or the essential oils or whatever getting spilled on it, it's stained, it's pockmarked, you can't read the things anymore. And so I do prefer this one to that, to the plastic one for sure. And it's about the same price point. I think it's like $10. And this one actually does have the 2 digits that I like when you're measuring in ounces. So it goes, 2 decimal places back, right? Now this is actually one that is brand new. I just picked it up for purposes of this video, and I want to say it was around 12 doll hairs. And it does milliliters and grams and ounces and fluid ounces and pounds. And it has a really big work surface. So I love that. It makes it much easier to see your scale as you are weighing things out. And I believe all of these scales measure up to 15 pounds, but also that's never, it still kind of doesn't. That's not exactly what it does, because if you tear it out, whatever, it's a different thing. Anyway, these are for sort of like small scale production, but I also use all of these scales for large scale production. I also really like that there's like a ruler there. I can see myself taking that ruler and like putting it next to the mold if I have forgotten to weigh things out or to mark things out before putting on like an embed up top, or putting on like a decorative top or whatever, right? And so I can totally see myself holding that up there and just marking off of that instead of a ruler, because a ruler is more likely to fall in because it's, whatever. Yes, that. So I actually have really high hopes for that guy, for sure. This is my workhorse. I have bought so many different versions of these over the years. Well, I mean, not versions, but so many different of these over the years, because I just love this scale. It's cheap. It's super user-friendly. It has the 2 decimal places that I want, and it never really gets to where I need to like recalibrate. And I love that for sure. Now, we should talk about, calibration and measuring to see just how accurate they all are, right? So we're going to do that little thing using a calibration tool kit that you can pick up off of Amazon. You can have, big heavy ones, or you can just use the jewelry ones. I have both. We're using the jewelry ones for right now. So 100 grams, 100 mils, 0.53 ounces on the Ozeri. Cool. Which is what that's supposed to be. It's a 100 gram thing. And we flip this around, see what we got here. So it's coming up at 101 grams. Okay, that's close. That's yep, it's good. It's just yep, it's real close for sure. And if we flip that over to the grams, it's 100.25. Yep, that's a pretty good. It's well calibrated right now, and it's 101. Okay, fine, cool. Like it. And then this one here, God, the glare, I have no idea. Well, I mean, you have no idea. I know that it's dead nuts. So there's that, because I'm the one who, you know, did this, and I could see it, but the glare is stupid. And now the glare is stupid on both of them. Oh, there we go. Better. Okay, 100 grams. Cool. Love it. Oh, it was not dead nuts. I was completely wrong. I'm an idiot. It's 102. So it's actually off more than the rest of them. But I still have high hopes for this guy. I really do. Because I really like the bigger weighing area on this one for sure. And so, yeah, I would go with either one of these things for sure for all of your measuring needs. I mean, that actually kind of makes sense. 51, fine. Interesting. Yes, but I would go with either one of these. Again, I love the Ozeris. I have to buy a bunch of scales all of the time because I teach classes, and so we need a crap ton of them out. And as I said, things wear out, things break down. The Ozeris seem to have the longest life. They also have the best battery life too. And from my memory of them, they have the little button batteries, which I super love. And also measuring the weighing of my Pyrex is always the first step in whether or not I am concerned about needing to recalibrate the scales, right? Because I know what my Pyrex weighs. Now, granted, the Pyrex can change weight over the years based on using it and etching it and, you know, all of the things. But I know that my Pyrex weighs 51.55, you know, pounds or ounces, not pounds. Jesus, that's a heavy Pyrex. And anytime that it does not fall in that area, it's like, oh, well, there's something wrong with the scale. The batteries need to be tested. It needs to be calibrated, all of the jazz. And there are my scale recommendations. Enjoy. Oh, yeah. So there it is. All of the stick blenders and scales, and me continuing to have the humor of like a, you know, 11-year-old child. Sure. Yeah, that. For sure. I will link everything in the description below if you guys are interested in picking up any of these scales or stick blenders. I definitely would go with that awesome Hamilton Beach for a stick blender. That one has never done me wrong. Never. I had one for like 6 years. Daily soaping, multiple big batches every day. It was a champ. It was sad when it started making a little rnt sound and I had to get a new one, but luckily they were still available, and so I did that for sure. For the scales, just those little round, but I'm really liking the new one with the longer, yeah, that one is actually kind of a winner too. I would stay away from the Kitchenaid one. I don't see that as a good value piece for soap making. Within your kitchen, you're cooking, sure, and it looks cute on the counter, so that would be awesome, but yeah, there you go. I hope you guys learned things. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today with some back to basics kind of deep dive stuff. And I hope you enjoyed my weird dirtiness with everything. It's a weird video for sure. Yes, but you know, that happens sometimes. So that is it for me for today. If you guys are interested in seeing what we do, you know, tomorrow and all of the jazz, subscribe to the channel. If you are subscribed to the channel, thanks for being subscribed. You are incredible. And I really do mean that. I am going to leave and change my shirt because I'm filming and putting on the interwebs in a very dirty shirt right now, and it's freaking me out. So I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun in a clean shirt. Bye.